Hey, welcome to Let's Talk. Today we're talking about feet. Feet are super important for all of your adventures. As you're heading out on the trail, having healthy feet can really make or break your day. If you've ever been out there and gotten blisters or hot spots on your feet, you know how quickly it can ruin your time outside. So, I want to talk today about things that you can do before you head out, as well as things that you can do while you're out on the trail to make sure that your feet stay healthy and that you are out there having fun. So let's dive right in. So before heading out on the trail, the first thing that you probably hear all the time is to make sure that the shoes that you're wearing are broken in and that you're familiar with the shoes, so that when you're out there, you know that you've already tested them out. You don't want to get out on the trail and have this be the first time that you're wearing these shoes and suddenly find that they're giving you really bad blisters. Um, that being said, making sure that the shoes are also the right type of shoes for the type of terrain that you're in. I walked in a pair of shoes, and this is not an exaggeration, for about a decade, and I realized after all of that time that they were probably much heavier and more sturdy than what I actually needed. I probably, in retrospect, could have had a little bit of a lighter shoe and been a lot more comfortable out on the trail. So knowing your feet, knowing your ankles, knowing the terrain you're going to be on, and really picking your shoe accordingly will help you be really comfortable. So making sure that you know that your shoe is broken in and that you're going to have the right type of shoe for the terrain that you're going to be on. So super important to pick the right shoe wear. And then in addition to picking the right type of shoe wear, making sure that you have the right type of socks. I think this is an area that is really, really overlooked very frequently. When I first was heading out on a big trip, I asked a friend who had done a lot of expeditions and asked for advice. And one piece of advice that she gave me was to wear a pair of liner socks with my socks, which was something that I had not been doing when heading out. So liner socks can be sort of a silk type of liner sock or a different synthetic material liner sock. They're generally quite thin, but they allow an area to create a barrier for protection from friction between your outer sock and your foot. So a really nice prevention of blisters between your sock and your foot. So a liner sock has just been such a game changer for me while I'm out there on these longer multi-day hikes. You can get them, at all of your outdoor stores. I tend to go to REI, but liner sock is just a fabulous thing to add in to help prevent blisters. And then as you get to your outer sock, of course, they come in all sorts of different weights as well as different materials. And we all know that cotton is going to really hang on to and absorb moisture, which when on your feet is probably not a good thing because moisture is going to lead to buildup of potential blister formation. So having a synthetic material like a merino wool is a really great material to choose. So you can get these in a variety of weights. So if you're out on a trail that's going to be in an area that's hot, you can get a really thin weight, or getting a nice heavyweight one for your cold weather expedition. So choosing the right type of socks can make all of the difference for your foot health. So having the right type of shoe that's well broken in, and then having the right type of socks are two super important things when you're looking at things that you can do beforehand. And then another thing to do beforehand is really just pay attention to your feet. I just know over the years the build of my foot and the certain areas that tend to form hot spots on my feet, where my feet tend to like to form blisters and rub. And I'm sure that you probably have an awareness on where those areas are on your feet. So having an awareness so that way when you're out on the trail, you can really be acutely aware if those areas are starting to feel a little warm or if there's a little rub that's starting to occur so that you can tend to that right away. So beforehand, just having an awareness. And if it's not something you've paid attention to start paying attention to that before you're out on the trail. And then once you're out on the trail, of course, paying attention to these things. But then when you're stopping to take a break, so when it's time for lunch, it's really nice if you've got a pair of trail shoes. I tend to carry just a really nice lightweight pair of like flip-flops in my backpack so that you can take your boots off or take your trail hiking shoes off and socks off and let your feet breathe. You can give them a quick inspection. And if it's a sunny day, it's a really nice time to let the UV light kind of do its thing. The UV light is very cleansing. So just letting your boots or shoes open up the tongue of the shoe so that the sun can sort of reach the inside of the shoe, lay the socks out on a rock. Just give everything a little bit of a break. A really nice way to help to just let the feet air out and get cleaned out. It's a nice time if there's any fresh water to give your feet a little rinse, especially if it's in a warm weather climate. Of course, if it's in a cold weather climate, you probably need to wait on that. But just a couple of quick tips, a couple of things that you can do to try to keep your feet healthy on the trail. So I hope that this is something that is useful. Just a little bit of information here. Drop me a quick line, let me know what you do, and I look forward to seeing you out there on your adventures.